Hey friends, this is Darnell coming to you from the beautiful Bedrock Ministry Studio with AM in America. It's our daily journey, my friends, through Psalm 119. It's one day, one verse at a time, Monday through Friday, and we are on verse 91. Now I'm going to actually read from verse 90 because they kind of flow one into another. Verse 90 says, "Your faithfulness endures to all generations. You established the earth and it abides. They continue this day according to your ordinances, for all are your servants." What does that mean? What is the psalmist saying? All of you are your servants. It means that God holds everything together because all things are subject to his master plan. Now, this raises a lot of questions. It not only raises the question of who controls everything, who holds everything in order, who owns everything, it even raises the question of who created everything. So a lot of people struggle with this because they have a difficult time reconciling the painful, the hurtful, the evil in the world, the suffering, all these things with a good and gracious and loving God. How could God not only allow these things but create these things? Well, let's answer the question of, did he create this, all of this? Does he allow all this? Well, we don't have to guess. We don't have to use our own human intellect. The Bible answers these questions clearly. Psalm 24:1 says, "The earth is the Lord's and all it contains." So clearly, it all belongs to God. Did he create it? Well, Colossians 1:16 couldn't be clearer. It says, "For by him," and him there is Jesus. You just go to the previous verses and read it in context, and you find out we are talking about Jesus here. "For by him all things were created, both in the heavens and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him." Well, okay, we have to accept the word or we can reject it. I choose to believe it. It says that Jesus created all things, which must make Jesus God, right? So, if God created it, why would he create it? Why would he create an environment, much less allow an environment with so much pain and suffering and evil in the world? Well, to answer that question, we really have to go back to the beginning. When God established the earth from the very beginning, he did it with the end in mind. He was accomplishing a finished goal, and the finished goal was to end up with a people that he could love and bless, and that would love him back, not forced to, not as puppets or robots, but by choice. And my friends, the only way that you can end up with a people that choose to love you is to give them a choice. That's why free will had to be introduced into the world. There had to be a choice between good and evil, between life and death, between accepting and embracing God or rejecting God. Man has that choice, and choices have consequences. And so God, knowing that things would unfold the way that they have and are, chose to he made the decision that the sacrifice of the pain and suffering was worth ending up with a people that actually chose to love him. Now, how do I know that he could see that from the beginning before he set any of it in motion? Well, once again, I don't have to guess about that. The scriptures clearly tell us. In Ephesians 1:4, it says, "He chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love." Well, if he chose me living in 2018 as we sit here today, if he chose me from before the foundation of the world, then that means that he saw me from before the foundation of the world, which means that he is not limited by time. He knows all things. He was able to see all things unfold before he set any of them in motion. The Bible further says that we should be holy. He chose us that we should be holy and without blame before him. How is that possible, my friends, when all of us have sinned and fallen short? Well, it's possible because God, he for whatever bad he allows in the world, he allows more good. The Bible's clear on that. It says that where sin abounds, grace abounds more. So God always outweighs and outdoes the bad with the good. And he says that we can be called holy and without blame because of our faith. The Bible clearly teaches this, even all the way back to the life of Abraham, where Abraham, it was credited to him as righteousness when he believed God. It's the same for us. Now, true belief and true faith will, in fact, have fruit with it. It will have evidence of that faith. But make no mistake, none of us have arrived. We all fall short. And it's by the grace of God through the finished work of the cross that we can be called holy and blameless. One other thing I'll say about this, and that is that I choose to embrace God now. And I choose to worship him now, and the rewards for that will be an eternity spent with him. But for even those that choose to reject Christ and reject God, the Bible's clear that one day, the day's coming when all will worship him. If they have not worshiped him by choice, they will acknowledge and worship him in the end by force, even though they've written their own ticket to hell. Revelation 13:8 says, all who dwell on the earth, that's all, will worship him, even those whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundations of the world. So, my friends, you and I have a unique opportunity. We are in the valley of decision. Believe God, receive Christ, accept him, or reject him, and he will grant you that wish for eternity. But make no mistake, the Bible's clear. God takes no pleasure in the destruction of the wicked. Jesus came and died and paid for all sin. But to have that sacrifice applied to you requires faith and a humbling of your heart and the prayer of repentance to save your soul. I hope that helps you, my friends, today. This is Darnell coming to you from the beautiful Bedrock Ministry Studio. Now let's go change the day.